Yo, what's up? Give me a second while we'll get working. Just waiting for my other computer to load up so I can put the chat window open over there. How's everyone doing today? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? As soon as this computer wants to, probably should have done this before I hit live, but whatever. Oh man, it's just so the power went out the other day, right? While I was working. I have two computers in my studio. And that's normally where I put these menus, like the chat windows and whatever else, YouTube. I put it on another computer. Um, so I don't know. I probably haven't updated that computer in a year, and now I was like, oh shit, it's off. So I turn it on, and Windows is just like updating. uh, so if y'all want to chat, now's the time, because I'm just sitting here waiting for that fucking computer to load. But I'm gonna be doing figure construction. Here we go. So it's normally I don't stream this, but people have been asking me lately. This is just ridiculous. Ah, good times. But yeah. Hey, what's up, sir? Like I said, normally I don't stream this stuff because I don't like talking and feedback. But to be honest, I spent a day and a half, not drawing much on this. So I'm like, I need people watching me so I get moving. That's basically it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Power Rangers, it's not my thing. It's my little brother thing. So I recently joined a studio for concept artists. I'm really excited. Oh, congratulations. I know a lot of people are excited about this whole Power Rangers thing, and I won't lie. For the past 2 years, I've had to do this for 2 years now. And I started a ways back, and I was unhappy with my initial results. People were cool with it. The person who commissioned the stuff was cool with it, but I wasn't. So um, I put it aside. I was like, I'll get back to this. Um, since then, I have attempted to make it fun for me, but I'm gonna be honest. There's no, at some point, it's like any job. It's like, this isn't fun for me, so I just need to kind of get it done. There's no world in which I work on Power Rangers and fucking get happy. Like, it's just not my thing. I've tried, folks. I've just tried. I don't know what it is. It's not hard. It's not hard. I think there's just a real lack of like I know what I would do with it, and so I'm gonna do what I would do with it. But like, I would go even further than this. I think. I guess the thing is, if I were doing this on my own, like with no commission involved, it would be easier. The problem is like with commissions, man, sometimes I feel like, how do I say this? Like, you know, they have a certain expectation of what characters should look and feel like, and like I don't like doing that now. I like to do what I would want to do. So just when this guy bought it, I wasn't in that phase of my career, So it's like, I don't know, it's a whole thing. Think if I was just doing whatever I wanted with this, I would make it real violent. Just a lack of violence in Power Rangers. This is so fucking stupid. It's like two times dumber than Saved by the Bell. You know, and I like me some stupid shit, but I like stupid shit wrapped around some edge, like um, Ren and Stimpy. Rocko's Modern Life has edge to it. I mean, when Rocko's Modern Life has more edge than your live action TV show, I'm just saying. you know. Finally, I can load up the studio and get on with it. There. So I'm definitely adding like my flair to this, but it's probably still reserved. Like I sort of think like if I was to really go at it, I would go way more like I'd probably do something. Well, let me like I would probably do something. You know, like I'd go really cartoony, but whatever. All right, so no, this isn't gonna move fast, folks. 'Cause when you don't want to do something, you just don't move as fast. Sometimes it's best just to admit you just don't want to do it, so you can get on with doing it. Like it's okay. It's funny when fans go, "This person's working on a property and they don't like it. They shouldn't be working on it." I'm like, maybe you're right, but sometimes not being a fan of something probably helps you like do something that no one who is a fan of it would ever do. But I won't lie, you know, like that's why I was initially doing these like comic pages with this stuff because I was like, well, here I'll put it in the version. I'll make it real cartoony on that, and then do this kind of halfway measure. But I don't have time for that shit right now, so Uh, yeah. Yes, it is, Ron. Uncertain how. Yeah, but here's the thing, Ron. I've done this with accuracy, not so much accuracy to the thing, but like with real detail and shit. And I don't know, wasn't a fan of it. I know a lot of people liked it. So I think this shit can look a lot. I just don't want it looking generic. I want to do something I just know they wouldn't approve. You know. I don't know, Ron. The more you have your own way of drawing, the less people will hire you to do work. What I would say though is there's a good interview Jerk Comics did with Kelly Jones. I would listen to what Kelly says, in terms of that, but just understand too, like the more you draw, the way you incline to draw, like the less you're gonna be a fit for. People are gonna be, they'll be like I'll show you a real good example, right? Like this shit would never get approved, right? Like I'm gonna take this finger, right? See, here's a knuckle, and I'll eventually come and do something like this with it, right? Right? But look at this pinky. I'm gonna come here and do this pinky super thin with this super big, right? So not only would 9 out of 10 art directors tell me to don't do that, right? Right? Fans will be like, he fucking drew that. Look at that. Look at this. The width. Look at that. That shit don't. Ah! Here's what they would do, right? They would come over, right? And they would make this. And then that's what they would do. They wouldn't do this, you know? But I understand the basic anatomy, Like, I understand how to come in here. I know where all the knuckles are. I understand all the bones right here. I understand the wrist connection. I understand the hand. I understand all this shit, right? But this shit's fucking generic. Or what they would do is get a 3D model and trace over it, which that's your thing. That's your thing. I just, like, I'm in a different place, creatively than that, you know. And you can see it here. Here's the one I did a couple years ago, right? This is 2 years ago when I was first starting this whole thing. So, this is still like this is what I'm talking about. Like this is like me going, well, this is when I was at Blizzard, and like trying to keep like, well, this is still adventurous for a publisher, this sort of thing. The right. But I kept the helmet very, very proportioned and the bodies. But then I was like, well, I'll do comic booky feet here and but I didn't like this. I didn't like it, you know? I didn't like it. So I put it aside, you know? I got a lot of praise for it from fans, but I wasn't happy. So, but I'm telling you what an art director would say or an editor, you know? I didn't want to make more of it. I was like, I don't want to do that. So, I'm not interested in it. So, it's out there, you know? Go make more of it if you want. with style, you never want to parody yourself. So there has to be some level of control. You know, when you're playing with shapes and shape design, like there has to be some level of control. Otherwise, you do start to like it can get out of hand. So it's just like finding what that balance is. Sometimes it's not caring, just not caring. Like I'll give that another pass. I just something about the face, mouth is just not. You know they don't open their mouths, but I'm like fuck it. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe I should do that. They don't open their mouths. They're masks. They can't actually talk. I'm like, yeah, that's what I hate about it. What you drinking, bruv? Decaffeinated coffee, my friend. I mean, you should have a really good understanding of shape design, you know? So, if you don't really understand how bodies work, then like being like, if you're like, hey, I don't know how to draw hair, so like, you know, like I'm just gonna be like, this is my hair now, like, and everyone gets that. Or you'll be like, I'll only draw bald characters. That's not gonna work, you know. Okay, thank you. Hey, what's up, Kyle?
Hey, Rob.
You,
How's it going?
eh, begrudgingly drawing this.
Fair.
And dude's like, "What are you drinking?" I'm like, "I don't get it, guys. Like, I guess they're just not used to speaking to like people who are like
Mm.
me. Like, whatever."
What is this piece driving you to be an alcoholic? Is that what they're saying?
I'm like, I'm drinking decaffeinated coffee. Like, if I'm hyped up, believe me, I don't need alcohol to get like, yeah. This
I
is why in the
barely
art
drink.
department I just keep my mouth shut. Like, I don't talk to people. It's the same with artists. Like, I'm like, I'll just sit over here, keep the conversation in my head. You know.
Mhm.
I
No, even
was
when I
reading the
could drink, I
Marvel.
barely did.
I was reading the Marvel Studio. I'd just be asleep if I was drinking. That's all it does. I was reading the Marvel Studios book. I got it like 50% off. 50%
Oh,
off.
nice.
And then uh, it's PR-ish, but there's nuggets of stuff in there. So there's this right in the beginning. There's this thing. Feige's like, when he was uh, starting over at when he was starting over at he started at Donner Schuler's production company, Richard
Mm-hmm.
Donner and
Mm-hmm.
his wife Schuler. And he was like, yeah, I'd go in a room and I'd just sit there and listen. He's like, more people can learn to shut up. Like, like
Yeah, that's true.
you know. But it's like, they don't move their mouths with Power Rangers because they're masks. But I'm like, I'm making their mouths open. Like, fuck that shit. Like, it's just one of the many things about the fucking thing I can't stand. Like, they're all talking, their mouths don't move. Well, it's impossible, Rob. I know. Should be animated.
Yeah, because if it was animated, you could move the mouse.
Yeah, they could emote and shit. You know.
It'd also be a lot easier to translate in English. You just dub them completely.
Well, they dub them now. But it's just funny
Yeah.
when.
Well, they're completely different now because well, Hasbro actually makes sure that everybody's unionized in the production floors. Being paid like $200 an episode, whatever it was the original kids got paid.
Yeah.
You mean fair wages and I don't get to almost die? Uh, and I like what you're doing with them better. They look more fun.
But I was showing the ones I did 2 years ago. And I was like, I did this and I wasn't happy with it. I stopped it. You know. And
Is it
I'm
the
like, I
red
know
one?
people. Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, it's cool. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. I wasn't like, I understand. Like at the time, I'm like, all this has to stop. Like whatever I'm doing with my art needs to stop.
Mm.
This is not the right way. This is what happens when I'm working at Blizzard. I can see like the influence of
Mm.
game studio fucking direction entering my art. I'm like, it's milk toast. So, you can go and you can color the shit out of it and do whatever you can, and people be like, oh, it's fun. I'm like, this is leading down the path to mediocrity. Like, if you play chess, like, I'm seeing 7 moves ahead where this leads. This is not where I need to go. So, like, I
Yeah.
told the dude at the time, like, yeah, when I get to this, I'm not doing anything like this. So, if you want a refund now, now's the time to let me know. But otherwise, I was like, I'll get back to this when I feel like it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry. And he's like, nah, no big deal. So he's a fan. And then, year and a half goes by. And I'm like, I just don't want to do this. Like, as cartoony as this is, I was saying before, like I mean, if I were doing it on my own, like if I had to, I would go way more. Like I'd do some shit like where they're like, hey, like you know, like this,
I have to admit, I'm curious to see how that would look.
you know. So this is why I like maybe smaller feet.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, little stubby feet.
yeah, it would piss off a lot of fans. You're making fun of it. Yes, it's better
Yes.
that way.
Yeah. I get behind that.
Yeah, I'm making me laugh. I'm not making fun of it. If I'm not having a good time, then I want like this is not hard to draw all that stuff. It's just I'm just trying to find ways to like interest me. So it's like I spent the last 2 days not moving very far on this. I'm like, I got other shit to do, and that shit's gonna catch up to me soon. So it's like I gotta get this done.
No, I'm just gonna
So I was
say
like,
that when he says this isn't hard to do, he's lying.
it's not hard for me to do. So like
That that
it's
that
just
that.
I just don't want to do it. So I'm like, I gotta get this. So I was like, well, I'll just start streaming. So then, of course, I naturally get into complaining because this is what's going on in my head. And then they're like, "Well, what's Rob drink?" I'm like, "I'm not drinking it, guys. Like, I'm what you call super motivated. Like I got a lot of energy. You know, like, you know, like we call that passionate. You know, this is why I just shut up when I'm around people. You know, because it's
It's all
just
good, Rob. It's all good.
it's not
I see
appreciated.
one.
It's people get overwhelmed by it. The wife gets overwhelmed by it. You know,
Yeah, and you
like
would think that she knew what she was getting into. Oh,
this is why they go, Rob's an asshole. I'm like, no, I'm not an asshole. Like an asshole is like, let me tell you an asshole. An asshole would be like, oh, just jacking shit and fucking drawing whatever. I don't know. Like
Jack and shit and Jack left town.
they mistake. I think people mistake. You know, people have like real. I have real fucking ideas, and I'm uncompromising, even with myself. Like, you know, like I'm not. What are you doing, Rob? I don't know. Like, that's not good. So
I don't know. I like your stuff. I like the direction you've been going in lately. I think it's fun. But then again, I like more stylized things than realistic. So
the problem with the stylization is you just don't again I say you don't want to parody yourself. You don't want to be
right.
like it's difficult. You know, it's difficult to maintain that. And I do think like you either make an animated series where everyone has the same proportions,
Hmm.
right? Like everyone, like
Yeah.
Zim's a good example. They all have the same proportions essentially.
Yep.
Like or you make something where your main characters are really stylized and the whole world has they're 50 to 70% less stylization. Like the
Hmm.
Max is a good example of that.
Yeah.
So that your characters pop out in front of everybody.
Right.
Unless you end up, you know, Ron, I appreciate it, but right now I don't need that. Okay? I appreciate it. But that right there is why I don't generally draw any of this stuff with on the stream. This isn't committee. Then it's off, you know?
Oh, I think
And
that's
if you're
fine.
making a joke, he's making a joke probably, but I don't need it right now, dude. You know?
Yeah. Most likely. I see. Yeah. I'm thinking it was a joke. But hey.
I'll just put the chat. Hey guys, I'm just gonna put the chat away if we keep that one up. You know?
See, Ron's ruined it for everybody. That's okay. I can still see it. Oh. Oh. I've come to the conclusion that
I
drawing
know
comics.
you're joking, but it's not the art. That's why in my head the sane side of me goes, he's joking, Rob. I'm like
Mhm.
the insane side of me goes, I want to reach to the fucking internet. I'm not. It's just you know what I'm saying, dude. Like you got to understand part of this. I still have a little bit of PTSD from Blizzard, dude. Like I have never really talked about it in great detail, but like when I was initially doing this stuff, like I was getting insane notes on my art from that studio. Just like why am I even like doing this kind of notes? And so
Mhm.
like working on this piece brings back every fucking memory I had of that period of my life. Like, I won't lie, I came very close to just quitting art altogether. I'm like, told the wife, I'm like, can I just be the house dad who gets everything done? Because she makes enough money. She's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't need to do any of this, right? She's like, nope. So I came very close to just deleting all the socials and going away. And one day, my friends, that will happen.
I'd be very sad.
You will never get the Rob's announcing he's leaving social media post. Everything will just go away one day and it's done, you know? Like, but, you know, I still enjoy drawing. This industry is what makes it not fun at all, you know?
Yeah.
Like the fucking bullshit notes, the here's how you do it, you know. So like I just decided to say, you know what I'll do is I'll just take time off, which is why you don't see any art from me from Rick. You don't see a lot of art, I'll say, between like uh, around 2021 or so. You don't see a lot of art there. There's a lot of this like dead space. That's me just going like I don't want to do anything, you know. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah, that's definitely serious PTSD.
so I was like, I'll come back when I feel like doing something. But that's also like when I stopped doing like the regular pod. I started doing the Star Wars podcast as I
Yep.
need something. I told Jason, I'm like, I need something not drawn, you know? So I went there and then they're like, we hate Rob here too. And I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, I can take Star Wars. I feel like you haven't really become a true Star Wars pro until the fans hate you. You know, like, yeah, I'm as
Well,
guilty of that. I'm as
you're not
guilty
wrong.
of that as any other Star Wars fan. You know,
Uh, yeah, you're not wrong. So yeah, yep. Rocket agrees.
remember telling Jason, I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about putting up the whole art thing. He's like, you won't. He's like, I've because he's a musician. He's like, I've heard this from musicians go through it all the time. I'm like, yeah, one day I will though. You know, like it's
If you do, you do. Well, I would back whatever decision you decide to make. Be kind of annoyed I wouldn't see you as much, but hey, you do
just
you.
I always said like my when I was a kid like all I wanted to do was like go to art school and then like work for like a studio or something like and then like the two things that made me never want to draw again was going to art school and working for a studio. And it's not the being like direction, like oh we can improve this plus this. It's that people weren't plussing things. People are like molding you into what they think you should be,
Right.
you know? And then complaining when their shit sucks. Like,
Hmm.
you know? Remember, like, what about starting your own? Yeah. I know, Ron. The problem with I know what the comics is. I'm in limbo on a project right now. I can't take any personal stuff on until I figure out what's going on with this other project. So
Yeah, that's a pretty big time one too. So
yeah, so I can't start anything else until I figure out what's going on with this other project. But I could tell you if I ever just sit down to do my own comic, it would just be the one thing. I would never, there's a lot of I have a lot of friends who they make their own books and they do like 25 pages, 32 pages that, and they're always got like a new idea. And I would just do one thing. I would do one thing until it's done and be like, that's it, I'm done with doing comics. But the problem is like I did work for publishers from 2007 to 2011. I was actively working on comics, and
mhm.
they just didn't publish anything. They were just like, yeah, we're not. It's a lot of wasted effort. I did it again. I merged that down. That's twice I did that. Okay, I have to lock that fucking layer from now on. Hold on. This is what happens when I start complaining. So I get real like, watch what come here and get rid of that really quick. Copy those lines back over. Paste it in place. And then we'll take this. I gotta carve out the other pieces. But it's like never ending comics. Comic top. Hey, what's up, Oz? But yeah, it's just
No, it's Pops. Fantastic.
there's an artist I really respect, and he was putting up. He's got a cool style. I don't want to get into it, but he he put up some stuff he had done for the the pros, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really tamed. Like it's like all that stuff gets muted down to fit, which I think is adventurous for him.
Hang on. Be right back.
Yeah. That style gets tamed down so it can fit the studio. And it's just so dumb. Come on, let's go. Doesn't want to paste in place for some reason. And I don't know why. Sometimes it just doesn't want to do what it is supposed to do. No, it would have an ending run. I would just do the one comic and then be done with comics. I would never do anything that didn't have an ending.
Sorry about that. My
Yeah,
mother
you got a
calling to
lot
see
of
if I
back.
knew what. Hmm?
You got a lot of background noise. Hold on, 1 second.
I do?
Not as bad now, but it just was
Okay.
blaring in my ear. 1 second. Turn it down
Uh,
a little bit. There we go. Sorry. Just,
oh, no, my mother called. She's like, "Do you know what the Apple password is for Apple TV?" And I'm like, "I know what mine is." And she's like, "What's mine?" I'm like, "I don't know."
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. It's the same password on my luggage. Oh, oh man. Hmm. People wonder why I do things in different layers. Now, are you going to do these as a scribbly or?
No, I'm just gonna do digital. I don't. I told him I said I might do something, but I don't have time for this. So I just want. I just want out. I want out of the Power Rangers game as soon as humanly fucking possible. You know,
Yep.
like dude's super nice. He feels bad when he's like, "Oh, you don't have." I'm like, I just want to finish what I started and then not do this again. So
I'll be right back. I'm going to check the cat's food. It's been a bit since I fed them, so. Okay. He needed food. Uh, yeah, I can understand my cats to some extent. I know when they're hungry, and I know when they just want to be assholes.
It just feels like one of those projects that's like it's just I want my life back. I want my life back. This is why I understand Han Solo's like I can't live my life with a bounty on my head.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it feels like when you take a commission and you just like gotta fucking do it. You know,
yeah. Now I know that feeling.
like
I'm
and
actually a
so
little
this is one of
behind on a
those.
commission myself. So
It's also one of those reasons why it's like I don't like taking commissions because they. I mean, I like doing it because I like normal people having fucking artwork in their house. What I
yeah,
don't like is it just anytime I get on a roll with something, it's like let's
yeah,
say I'm drawing fucking turtles, and then they're like, "I'd like you to draw toothless," and you're just like, "Okay, what?" Like, all right. Then everyone's like, "Hey, man, that came out great." I'm like, "You have no idea how many times I had to redraw that toothless so that it didn't just look like everyone draws that character the exact same the way Chris Sanders drew that character. That's it.
yeah.
So it's like it needs to look like toothless, but it can't look like Chris Sanders drew it. You figure that one out. Get back to me, like, you know."
Um, I can't. So we'll go with that.
So it's like it's been a long time. It's like, but it's not second nature. It's like it's a lot of design work. So just trying to make certain that this sword doesn't look like I'm supplanting his dick with it. So major problem when making Star Wars shirts is anytime you put Vader's saber right there, right? Like right
Oh yeah, I can see.
there. You see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got to be
I.
careful.
Uh, duplicate. Oh, Pops, just so you know, Doc got me the pages he wants me to color and letter and everything. So we're supposed to have a meeting at some point today, but well, I slept, so it didn't really happen.
This is just blobbing in like where I want to put it. It's not.
No, I understand.
I know, but I'm saying it for the lurkers.
No, that's true.
Oh, lettering advice. Make sure your eyes are set to when you're typing, they aren't doing this on comic fonts or just doing this.
Right, unless they're alone.
Yeah.
I don't think I've done that anytime recently. No, my lettering all looks clean. Uh, yeah, that advice is typically referred to as the beginner mistake.
Yeah, I don't really like a lot of. I follow Nikos, and the creative dudes and the Blambot guys. They're nice and
Yeah.
all, but I don't like a lot of their advice they give letterists because they come up with all these rules, and then if I go open up a Tom Orzechowski fucking book from Eclipse Publishing, circa 1988, the lettering still looks better than anything they're doing now. So, and they don't follow any of their fucking rules. So it's just like I hear what they're saying, but I don't agree with 9 out of 10 of it because it doesn't look better than the shit that existed 30 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
the thing is, you want to just kind of look at it and then take advice from it and use what works for you, like anything else with art.
yeah, I know, but they put all these guys on how to do it. And I'm like, no, that's how to do it in bulk lettering. Here's how to letter in bulk for two companies. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like in
Yeah,
mainstream
basically.
comics, and so everything kind of looks the same, but it's just like, I don't know, man. I don't think it looks better. I just think it looks the same.
It's like with
And then,
my word balloons are they're not even. I purposely don't do them evenly because I want them to have this kind of organic, kind of fun feel to them.
yeah, I would tell everyone never fucking do real fucking like clean word balloons. The only thing that I have to agree these days that they harp on that I tend to think is true is if you think your font's a little big, go a little bigger because a lot of people reading fucking comics these days are older. So,
Yeah, that's true.
don't go with the small font.
You know,
Write less or leave more room open for lettering.
yeah. I mean, the general rule of thumb is with a typed font, if you're using it for just general dialogue, is 9.5.
Except, here's why I also then the other side of me says I don't agree with any of it anyway because most comics are being read digitally. They just zoom in.
Right.
So
So
then I'm
then it
like,
doesn't matter.
exactly, exactly, like it's tough. I don't know like how much I can agree with like what are the sales on printed comics compared to digital, right? Like if they're comparable, and if the future is totally digital, then the size of the font's irrelevant because they'll just zoom in.
Right.
So I don't, I don't know, you know.
Yep. No, I know exactly what you mean there because it's crazy. So
That sword needs work.
uh, well, I've been playing with your copier rat brush tip, and I must
Oh,
say I've
that's
been having
Kyle's
luck.
brush. That's not mine.
What?
That's a Kyle's brush special.
Yeah, I know it's a cow brush, but I'm just referring to it as the copier rat, and yeah, it's really good. So, but then again, it's
Yeah.
Kyle Brush. So I couldn't remember if it was called that initially.
Yeah, I don't think I changed that name.
I go through and purge a bunch of my brushes that I just don't use, and just keep the like a master kind of quick set that I have. And if I need something else, I go digging for it.
Yeah, I got a DMCA on sharing my brushes from Adobe. So at this point, I'm just telling people I use Kyle's brushes and I modify them. Well, how do you modify them? I'm not going to go into that because I don't know. Like, I've changed them so much, and sometimes I've merged them secondary brushes with my own brushes that I don't know what I did.
Mm.
Like, I couldn't redo it if I wanted to. Like, so Kyle's brushes, I would start there, and there you go. And I would love to share you my bread, but I don't need trouble with Adobe. Like, I just don't need the
No,
trouble. So I apologize, but
I'm amazed they figure that out.
yeah, I just don't want the trouble with Adobe.
No, I don't blame you.
Believe me, I'm the last guy who wants to hide brushes from folks. I'm like, I could give two shits less. Get right to it. Here you go. But
Yeah, because
such is life.
The Kyle watercolor brushes are amazing. So
Yeah, just go use that stuff. Find out. Finally, took them forever, but they're finally shipping my Batman Secrets of Sam Keith book. I bought
oh,
that gallery edition. So,
oh cool.
yeah, it was out of stock everywhere, and they want 200 for it on eBay. I'm like, fuck you, but I managed to find uh, Atomic Empire still has them.
Hmm.
So, so I spent a little bit on that because I don't like the coloring on that stuff. I just like his inks. So
No, like the
sometimes
yeah.
I do like I like Eisenhower's work and
Mhm.
the whoever was on, I can't remember if he was on or someone else was on the Hulk Wolverine thing he did with the. Thought that came out really well, but I did not like the coloring on that Batman series. So I was like, I'll get the book.
Damn, what the hell did I put them?
Alrighty.
Ah, they're there. I was like, where the hell are these stupid brushes? Oh, they're there. Okay.
Finally, they started putting up the last, well, the newest episode, but there's only three more to go of Adventures of Die.
Hmm.
Gotta say, it's in my top five now.
Well, that works.
You know, Full Metal's still number one. I'd say probably Kill La Kill's number two. Then probably Gurren Lagann number three. Well, no, Dragon Half and then Gurren. See, Dragon Half I can't put in there because there's only two fucking episodes. It's that good
Yeah.
though, you know.
It's fun.
Nichijou's number four, and then actually I'd watch Nichijou before Gurren Lagann. So Kill La Kill, Nichijou, Gurren Lagann, and Dragon Half are right there, and then Adventures of Dai would be next.
Hmm.
They're really sticking the landing. They're
That's good.
really
Yeah,
sticking the landing. Like
I gotta go through and watch that show um, because
it went
it
when it's
really,
complete, it'll be
yeah.
76 episodes.
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah. So what what is that? Thank you. Don't like that.
I'd love to get rid of Photoshop, but I don't see it ever happening. Really rugged. Yeah, I'm sure. He's telling me he's having a rough day because he's a kitty. Mm-hmm. What range are you doing next?
Huh?
What range are you thinking about doing next?
Oh, the fucking one that's driving me nuts is Billy. I hate the one I did. I have to redo that one.
Hmm.
It's just blobbed in.
Fair enough. I'll tell you did Trini and whatever the pink one's name is.
Yeah.
Kimberly. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, the nerd. I gotta work on that one. The blue one.
Mm. Rocket, knock it off. You've been fed. Stop it. Yeah, it's a fish.
The nerd.
Hmm?
I have to figure that one out.
Ugh. Had my infusion on Wednesday, and I'm now sporting a bunch of bruises. Apparently, I wasn't drinking enough water when I was living on a liquid diet for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're drinking Gatorade though.
I was drinking water too.
Yeah, but you know what they always say.
Yeah.
It's like when I tell them I drink coffee, they're like, "It's not the same. It's got water." They're like, "It's not the same, bro." Like, all right.
Uh, yeah. I mean, I was. I'll say this: I don't want to have to drink chicken broth alone ever again.
Q 2 weeks later, mother.
Exactly. It'll blow my mind how cats can just stop in the middle of playing and start licking themselves. Oh. Oh yes, I ordered some Copics from Dick Blick, or just Blick, whatever we want to call them now these days.
They changed their name?
Well, originally they were called Dick Blick.
Yeah, they changed it to the Blick or Blick.
Yeah, now it's just Blick. But yeah, um, knock it off. Disney strongly warns against purchasing Genie Plus, says it may not work. Great. Rip-off thing
Purchasing
doesn't
what?
work. The Disney Plus thing, the Genie Plus thing, it lets you pay an extra $15 to skip lines and things or something like that. And it's basically stupid. Um so they're saying it doesn't work now. There it is.
You go to the theme parks?
No, it's
But you're
just
like
something my friend sent me.
Massachusetts. Oh,
That's something my friend sent me.
oh.
The two of us used to go to Disney like every couple of years, but we haven't been for a bit. There we go. All right, so I should have it Monday. Good. Damn, they're coming FedEx. That's something I didn't expect. What do you want? Watch as I bribe my cats. Yeah, built design looks good.
The big belt.
My character, Danny, I put a huge belt on, so it's kind of fun to draw. Granted, trying to get it so it like kind of does that whole thing where it rides on the hips can be a pain in the ass. Because I don't know any women who actually wear a belt like that, but hey. But it looks fun to draw.
Everyone says that, and then like 10 years later, some fashion show shows up and it's there. Like when
No,
I was a kid,
I've seen
going to
movies
Comic
too where
Con, I used to hear fucking endless Marvel artists complain about how Spidey's eyes can't actually move, and then they hate it when they make his eyes do like this kind of stuff.
yeah, but then you get the movies and guess what they're doing?
Yeah, yeah. I used to tell him like, yeah, but you can like see what he's thinking now. You don't need it. You just, word balloons are for. I'm like, all
No,
right, man, whatever. And then now, right? Like, I know, right? Like, you just the minute they did that shit in Civil War, I was like, oh, I wish I could just go back in time and just show all these motherfuckers, like who complained.
you just be like, ha ha. I like the Tom Holland Spider Man. He amuses me.
Anyone who complains about Marvel just needs to go back to 1987 when we had Willow and Three Men and a Baby and take a good long look at themselves. Yeah, how about 1994 when we had The Shadow? Like it wasn't good. You know,
Oh man, I have such nostalgia for that movie. It's so bad.
I'm sorry, sorry, it's not good. Saw it in
I'm not saying
theaters.
it was good.
It's not good.
It was garbage, but I loved it. Oh, it's one of those bad movies I just enjoyed.
No, I got done. I'm like, well, I saw that.
I
I
saw that in the theater.
went to
Is it?
Godfather's Pizza. We're outside, and I was like, well, let's play some Children of the Atom. You know,
Yeah, exactly. My dad took myself and my brother to see that movie because we both wanted to see it. And he's just like, I like The Shadow. And they were like, oh, this is great. And I'm like, this is garbage. But I love it. It's not like the movie that got me into wanting to study science from my life, like astronomy and what led to my interest in astrophysics. That was a really bad movie.
Howard the Duck.
Close, but it was better than that. So
What, my stepmother's an alien.
the black hole.
Oh, it's not even a movie. It's pretty. I like the chandelier design.
Oh, I thought it was beautiful to watch. It's
G-
it's very
giant
gothic.
cartoon eyes on robots ain't my thing though. Unless they're
Yeah,
animated. I'm just saying, like 70s. Unless they're googly
yeah.
eyes.
I love those robots so much. I might have cried a little bit when old Bob got killed, but hey, I was also like 4. But hey, yeah, I love that stupid movie. It's one of those things every now and then on Disney Plus I throw it on. I can't sit through the whole thing in one sitting because it's really not that good. But there's just an aesthetic to it that's just gorgeous. Like the way they did the black hole, just that's how I pictured them for well until I understood what they actually look like. Well, what we think they look like, I should say. The only photographs we have are indirect.
They look just the way Gurren Lagann portrays them.
Yeah, Interstellar is close. The eyes are one of the best things about Spidey, and the shadow takes me back. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. I can get behind that. Dear God, I found a mega pack of all of Kyle's brushes on Adobe, and I'm just like, I should probably put in a bunch of these things, see what I'm missing, and I'm like, it's still installing.
Yeah, it's a few gigs.
Yeah. Sorry, I have the wild sitting right outside my window right now. If you can hear the birds. I like it when they start torturing the cats. You can't get to us. I've been debating on doing more like watercolor background stuff for my work digitally because scanning it's a pain in the ass. But
Yeah, right side. Yeah, it was a last summer. Jason and I were doing this look back on Fly the Navigator, which I still think is one of the more accurate versions of a spaceship probably ever recorded. Like,
that was a
when you look
UFO.
at
Yeah, I would agree with
UAP,
that.
yeah, when you look at UAPs and everything, like I think Fly the Navigator is the most accurate that there is. So, however, I was telling him like, here's the problem with the movie though. It's set in the summer of '78,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, it. The movie takes place in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's no fucking way on God's green earth a kid who saw Star Wars gets in that ship but doesn't start fucking talking about making Star Wars references every 3 seconds.
You're
So like,
damn right.
so like, I don't for the life of me understand why they didn't start the movie in the summer of '76.
Yeah,
Given that
that
it
would have been
was,
10 years.
he's out there on 4th of July, the bicentennial would have been the thing, and then he would have aged 10 years. Like, all that makes the most sense to me. Like, he had to have gotten abducted before he ever saw Star Wars.
Yeah, because the second he saw Pee Wee Herman's droid character,
Yeah, I mean,
next.
endless Star Wars. It's just, come on,
Yeah,
like, it makes no sense. Like, that's, it's
they
like,
immediately started referring to him as 3PO.
yeah, R2D2 jokes, all of it. Like, it would have,
Yeah,
Darth Vader, he just would have been making Star Wars puns left and right. He goes, well, you can't because, oh, right, you can't because Disney owns this movie in '86. So why didn't they send it during the bicentennial?
right.
Which,
And that would have made a bit more sense in some ways if they did it during the bicentennial than have it 10 years later.
yeah, I don't
Just in
know.
general.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, just a simple little adjustment that I'm like, I don't, unless the dude who wrote that shit, like, 1978 was a big year for him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, that's what it feels like to me. Like, doesn't make any sense for the story.
No. Well,
Feels like,
it was a small studio production that Disney then picked up. So, I mean, there could be all
uh,
sorts of crazy shit with it.
I just feel like it's a screenwriter. Like, well, because and then no one really thought it. But I'm like, guys, think about this shit. Like,
The only thing I remember about 1978 was that there were people sledding off their roofs around here because of the blizzard. But and even then, I might not be remembering that. That could be something I saw in news footage years later because of how young I was.
it's the year I was born, so couldn't fucking tell you. But
I was born in '76.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's just no way a kid who was 10 when Star Wars came out gets abducted by aliens and doesn't make Star Wars. Like,
Right.
plus, it just 10 years makes more sense than an 8 year difference. It's not enough time, like, even for a kid to pass. Like, 10 years, pretty fucking big deal. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it definitely would have showed the difference because he was like 12 or something, and then like he comes back, he should be like 20. So yeah, he should look different and things like that. He should look like an adult because I mean he's like starting to go through puberty. Um, but yeah, so you'd have that.
Well, he
Um,
doesn't age at all, but I'm just
right.
saying,
But you know what I mean. I'm just
yeah,
saying that.
around even 10 years. But
Right.
I'm just saying, there's just no way a kid who fucking grew up, who saw Star Wars 2 years before this movie starts, gets
Yeah.
abducted by an alien, doesn't fucking start talking about Star Wars. Like,
Yeah. Because everybody saw Star Wars, so it's like, yeah, there's just no way.
or Close Encounters. I mean, he would have seen both by then.
Yeah, he would have. Close Encounters was '78.
No, it was seven. Yeah, no, it was '77.
Was it
Same year as Star
77?
Wars. Yeah,
I thought that was
no,
a year
no,
later.
same year.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, what?
Well, even still, well, especially Close Encounters. I mean, he should have been making the reference to do 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 do. Well, as soon as he saw the spaceship.
Yeah.
So
No, Close Encounters came out the same year as Star Wars. People forget that. Like,
I knew it was right around the time. I just thought it was a little bit after. Mm. Uh, I just rewatched that the other day, actually about a month ago. But I think I fell asleep during it. To figure out what I'm gonna eat today.
chicken broth.
Yeah, fuck you.
Chicken broth.
I
My
can have
dog's like, I
solid
want some
food.
chicken broth. All right, so refrigerate it. Let me get some chicken broth jelly. You know, who doesn't like chicken broth?
Chicken broth jelly.
Jello, Jello. Just pretend Gilbert Gottfried's selling you on it. You know, the Jello. And when he lost that
Oh,
Affleck deal, it was a bummer. I was like, you
yeah,
know, they really should have got George Takei to
that would have been
replace him
great.
instead. Yeah, Affleck. Like, just go totally different.
It's so good.
Yeah, like just you know, just whenever he's walking, like a little duck.
It's so good.
And then when he gets a good deal, he goes, "Oh my god!"
Oh my.
Well, he did a "Oh my god" once on the Stern Show.
Yeah,
It's
you did.
great.
I was
Oh
just
my
thinking of. Oh my.
god! Yeah, yeah. Make you do the "Oh my's." That's who I would have got.
Yeah, yeah, I can get behind that.
I mean, why he lost the deal is total bullshit, but whatever.
Uh, I miss him already. Just he was so good. He had muscular dystrophy.
We put the dinosaurs on the helmets and the toys and like, all right, clever. Like,
They were. Um, was it the Zoo Ranger or something like that? They were originally called.
I don't know.
No, I saw some of the Japanese ones.
The one thing about the Japanese stuff, as I can say, is that because it was shot on film in the 70s, you know, it
Oh,
has a lighting and texture to it that is far superior to whatever
oh
the
no,
video shots, you know. Like,
Zoo Rangers, which made Power Rangers, is a lot newer than you think.
I'm just talking about when they're cutting to the model footage, you know, in the show.
Oh yeah,
It's like at least like I could like anytime they had stuff from the 70s, like well I could watch some of this, you know, like just because it's fascinating, like the way it looks.
oh yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, Koryo Sentai Zoo Ranger. Um, went for one season. Was filmed in 1992.
No, yeah, I'm not a fan of the video look that occurred around the mid 80s, the late 80s,
Mm.
86 to 87, you know.
Yeah,
And then like the 90s had like all the worst, those really bad intros with the cheesy, you
oh,
know, the CBS, you know, with the gradients and the weird.
yeah. It
It
just
was
didn't
so
work.
bad.
I much preferred the film look with that stuff. But I mean, just make it animated. Especially during that time. I mean, when Power Rangers came out over here, if it was originally animated, that would have really worked. Especially when it was like a new golden age of animation at the time. So you had Batman, you had like Tiny Toons and going into
Yeah, but the
Animaniacs.
whole
You had
point was to not spend money. So
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
that was his whole thing. We have this stuff. We can do something with it, you know?
Yeah. And Stan Lee back in the 70s is like, these are great, we should use them. Nobody listened. Maybe like the original Common Rider
To be
and stuff.
fair, he was just high. So
Mm, we'll go with it. So how long are you gonna be streaming today?
I don't know.
Don't
I'm
know.
just trying to work. I'm just like, just so want to get some kind of movement on this, you know?
Mm,
Like, just want to get to the point where like I'm just not thinking about it, but
I can respect that. Oh, it's the ice cream truck, which the ice cream truck around here has a bit of a weirdness to it, especially when it goes around at 3 in the morning. I don't think it's selling ice cream then.
the last time I had to do something I really didn't want to do was that Warcraft piece. But I did what I could to make it work. I was like, I think this is working pretty good. Fucking dude hated it. So mad at me.
I
I
love
was
that
like,
piece. I
well,
thought it
it
was
says
great.
no refunds, motherfucker. So, like, you know,
Yep. That was a fun piece. Oh well,
yeah,
whatever.
he didn't like it. You look like my game character. You know?
Yeah, I
I'm like,
could see where
alright.
somebody would say that, and I'll just be
Yeah.
like,
But I told him
"Mm,
I'm not doing that, like from the get,
yeah,
like,
yeah."
so. It's not like I was like, yeah, I'll draw it just like, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I'm gonna get real negative here, but it's like when fucking people who are like, draw me. I'm like, fuck you. Like, no offense, dude. Why are you so fucking interesting? Like, sometimes I get really into like character. It's just, I don't have that ego. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Allison, I don't have it. I don't go, you know what, the best person in the world. Like, it's like, I don't put my face in every one of the characters I draw. You know what I
So you're
mean?
not
Like,
Gimli?
there's art, huh?
So you're not Gimli?
Uh,
Oh,
it's not Jim Lee's face. Like it's Barry Windsor Smith's face. To be perfectly honest with you, but oh yeah, yeah. You want to see where Jim gets a lot of his look? It's Barry Windsor Smith. Like that's
oh
it.
yeah, no, I know. He made a comment. What was it at one point where somebody's like, "Well, why do your faces look like this?" He goes, "Well, I didn't know what the hell to draw, so I drew me." So,
No, he didn't draw himself. He drew Barry Windsor. He drew
yeah, he
Weapon
drew
X
Barry
over
Windsor
and over
Smith.
again. Like yeah, that was
Yep,
pointed out to me in the mid '90s from
yep,
some guys at Wildstorm. They're like, yeah, he just draws Barry Windsor. I'm like, no. And then I was looking. I'm like, oh shit, look at that. I had
yeah,
to
he does.
really,
Yeah, I was just going with it, but yeah,
you know. Ty was doing a lot of Sienkiewicz and Art Adams.
mm-hmm.
And Liefeld was mostly just doing Art Adams and
Yep,
a bit of that John Byrne, Terry Austin thing.
yeah.
But Feeling that fucking neck.
Yeah, no, I never drew myself into things.
That
It's
would
more
just
like,
make me a villain. If I needed a real asshole, I just drew myself. So if you ever see a character like me, it's never the good guy. It's always like a person who's trying, but they kind of like I do the opposite of who I am, just so people can get over it. You know.
it's definitely not Jack Kirby.
Well, it's not. I don't blame folks. Like artists tend to draw their residual image when they're
Yeah,
just naturally drawing. It's just I don't know why that is. It just is. And if you want to look, yeah, like the biggest example I can point to this, because this person never used photo reference, was Frazetta.
yep, yeah.
And if you look
Especially
at
with
Frazetta,
you look at his what was it um did a movie poster for a Clint Eastwood movie. I forget which one. People just said, "Oh, you look kind of like Clint Eastwood." So he's like, "Oh, he looks like so drew me."
yeah, but all of his male figures are him. Like
Oh yeah.
it's straight up. That's it. So, and that's just because people inherently draw their residual image for whatever reason. Like I
Hmm.
figured that one out like a long time ago. So it's like I actively have to like try, but there's nothing I can do. Sometimes when people go, "Oh, look at that current problem," like there's nothing you can do. Like you inherently draw yourself, but like to actively like, just weird. Like I do a lot to get rid of a bit of that, but
Mm.
couldn't imagine just sitting around. And I don't care if a character draws the same face over and over again. Like figure work with monthly comics is tough enough.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like I'm not.
I don't care what the hell people do as long as it looks good. Or I should say, as long as I like it. Because what I might think looks good could be completely different from somebody else's. So, Not to step away for a bit, Rob. Um,
Yep.
I will talk with you later.
Later.
All right. You guys have a good one. Bye.
Peace. Hey, what's up, Cityscape? Appreciate it. I'm trying. I'm trying, dude. Trying to get that balance between totally different and not a giant clusterfuck, you know? And I know what that is. That ain't it. It's too much of a pain to do that fucking stupid texture. Trying to simplify those weird things. Is it okay if you ask? Yeah, sure. I'm not. I don't have my eyes on the chat the whole time. Need some text response. Uh, I can't type, dude. Needs me to text the response. That's not happening, my friend. I'm drawing. If you'd like free advice, you gotta meet me halfway, my friend. Looked around socials and website. Wasn't sure if commissions are open or not. Closed. Apologies. Uh, no, they're not open. I have some big projects coming, and I can't take on any more commissions. I don't know when they're going to start, so I just can't responsibly take on any more. I got this to do. I got to cut two more traditional commissions to do, and then I'm just going to have to be making art, and selling it. But I can't take on any commissions until I know what the status is of a project. Sorry. flip it if this checks out. Alrighty, I'm gonna leave that here for now. I gotta go eat some breakfast or something. Get some food in my belly. I'll get back to it. This is a blobby. It's not the final art, so we'll continue this forward shortly. Peace.